So, welcome to the Venerable Lama Lodu Rinpoche's teachings on the path of liberation. As standard housekeeping, when it comes time for question and answer, please message me directly with your question, and I will relay your question to Rinpoche. Thank you, and without further delay, let's start.
Good afternoon, everyone. So today supposed to be His Eminent Kalu Rinpoche giving talk from KDK. So some reason that visa was not able to providing him some reason. I'm not sure. So that is a reason Rinpoche was not able to come. So up to all, and the schedule has already ahead. We have Lama Ching has distributed schedule everyone. And so I don't want to this new year and Kalu Rinpoche teaching to cancellation will not good, not auspicious. So that reason I replace him today. So just like say. Replacing tiger to cat. So cat will be not do as entertaining you like tiger do. Tiger have more skill, energy, and cat have nothing. He can catch the mouse. That's all he can do. So that is the word is kind of logic today. So I'm replacing Rinpoche. He was incarnation of the Kalu Rinpoche was my root guru last. He was very well respected by all the lineage of the Tibetan Buddhism. Even His Holiness Dalai Lama is very much respect. So that is a kind of, high, great being in the world while his lifetime. Greatly benefit many beings. So Yangsi Rinpoche, whose reincarnation is the incarnation of that great beings. So he is a different body, but the same mind. So I respect him as really incarnation of my guru, even change form. And sometimes change form and change action too. But it doesn't make too much big difference in a high different level. Have different people have perceive, but actual person who knows Dharma, there's nothing too much difference. So I become today acting like replacing him, and I have to sorry, but I have to do it in order to independent connection to be auspicious, especially this 22nd year. A new year also, so the teaching was given by him. We don't cancel to give some. He's subject to not avoiding to continually keeping this. So that's why I have to appear here today. So I'm welcome all of you. We have some few people come in KDK, but also you have some people in Zoom now, so that is make more meaningful to have this today in this gradual continuation. Of course, that Rinpoche has last time we discussed, and I asked Rinpoche what you want to make the subject. And he asked, you can make subject. So up to all, and I talked to him, I presented, I said, you can do what you like it. But we want to have path of liberation, his subject is. So that is actually, I made up that. And he agreed to do that, and he can do any subject he want to. All the Dharma subject is path of liberation anyway. So that was kind of simple way come up my mind. Request to him, he said, okay. But, he will have huge wisdom to share with you. But I can say little things, what I have my experience. I'm not scholar, a learner, a realized person. But I have been, since 8 years, I involved Buddha Dharma. And also I meet great beings such as 16 Karmapa and then Teyak Rinpoche, who was a very highly realized person. And then after I meet Kalu Rinpoche, Ranjung Kunchap is a ordained name of the Ranjung Kunchap. But then that parent give him Karma Dubju Tenzing, so that kind of shortening that name to Kalu is way to parent give children, call them lovingly from heart. Kalu meaning it's kind of parent giving him from their heart how they like him, how much they love him. So that name continually all his life, people call him Kalu, and then we call Kalu Rinpoche. Actually, his ordained name was the Ranjung Kunchap, which is a 11 Tai Situpa, Situpema Onchu, ordained him and giving that name. So that name was quite deep and profound meaning there. So according to his name, he lived his life, benefit all beings. And so that blessing of the world Lamas, then I become as title as Lama and become appointed by His Holiness 16 Karmapa and my own Guru, Kalu Rinpoche, both one voice appoint me as teacher in the West to their student and representing the Kaji person who passing through the information of the lineage. So that was I leave their blessing and their word. And so I will give some my own experience and what I have a little bit knowing about Buddha Dharma. And since I practicing, studying all kind of things. And I have great teacher always. I am the one who not have operate all the teaching they give me because due to my laziness. I'm not saying I'm not intelligent enough, but a huge laziness I have. So I didn't get everything what great teacher has been passed through me. But still I have little memory. So I'm practicing Karma Kaji. As I born, my family is Karma Kaji. And I'm studying Karma Kaji on a young age. Even I was 3 retreat, I was Karma Kaji. 6 yoga of Naropap and a Mahamudra of the Maitreya, Tumarpa, Mela, Gambopa, and Karmapa. So that lineage, I practice that one too. As I'm saying, my laziness doesn't go far, but I received all the blessing and information. So that is I have the lineage of the Karma Kaji blessings. And also I have the Shangpa Kaji lineage, direct His Holiness Kalu Rinpoche is passing me. As I'm saying, again, my laziness doesn't go far. Realization and understanding, but I passed all the teaching of Shangpa Kaji. So then I also little practice here, there, Shangpa Kaji as well. You maintain my practice, how to practice the Karma Kaji, how to practice Shangpa Kaji, daily practice. So my own experience, I don't see any different. Giving blessing and strength equally, both lineage. Not only by this through lineage, but all the lineage do have blessings. There's no, I will say, Shangpa Kaji, Karma Kaji is only the best. But also Gilopa traditions, wonderful. And Sekyapa tradition, Nyingmapa tradition. Especially I have many great masters of the Nyingma. tradition has transmitted lineage. When I was 18, I received from Nyingma most of the 20th century's great yogi of Nyingma lineage, realized being, His Holiness Khenche Rinpoche, transmitted all this Nyingma tradition when I was 18. So again, same things I didn't practice. And so blessing is there. I didn't touch anything too much on that. I met other great master of the Nyingma like Drijom Rinpoche, Tukuji Rinpoche, and Nyukshi Khen Rinpoche. And actually I was very close Chadra Rinpoche. Even he was as one of the Nyingma's guru, I call still. I practice in Guru Yoga practice of the Chadra Rinpoche. So very close I was the Nyingma practice lineage. And Sajjaba lineage also. There are so many of them I met, able to see blessing. And none of them I can say less. Every have equal. Each people can practice. Each has been, resolved. No question there. Only our own laziness and clinging to the world too much. So that causes us to delay to getting enlightenment. And practice doesn't develop too much. That is our fault. All this Buddha teaching, my understanding, Buddha has the teaching to giving this world same. So I always give some kind of example. Big teapot, make the tea. It's one pot of tea. But 1,000 cup there, you put in each cup's tea, the peel off. The tea is come from the same pot. And so therefore, tea is the same tea. But on mistakenly, or people get doubtfully, my cup is my tea better than your tea. This is mine. Yours is the worst, mine the best. That's way to look at sometime. People who don't understanding in general Buddhist, then they can see different teaching is different lineages. They kind of look like different than other lineage. But all this lineage who practicing is all come from Buddha. Come from the one big teapot, putting the different cup, make different. But inside the cup is the tea, the same tea. How you can make different tastes than your cup and my cup, because same pot pouring in the tea. So that is a mistaken way to look at that way. Have doubt that way. So I don't have doubt any Buddhist teachings, Buddhist lineage, all the same. I believe that very strongly. But here's something is that important. One lifetime, quite, lazy and not having so much diligence. I cannot practice all this lineage. I have to follow one lineage. Even one lineage, very hardly I can keep up my practice. So therefore, whoever has karma landed your path, you must stay in their path. Sometimes we have eating in one cup delicious food, and you look at the other people eating their another, you think, so that food is better than mine, maybe I should get that one. Then stop that eating your food and looking for other food, and then you cannot eat it anyway. So something like that. So you have to, all the religion you have to respect as same. All the teaching and all teachers are the same, no less. Equal and even. But you stay where you are. One people can eat one food, one people can walk one path. One people can follow in many paths at the same time. Your 2 feet can walk only the one path, one time. So this karmically you landed, this lineage, this teacher, this teaching, put your effort and diligence continually as you can. Then if you cannot get enlightenment now, but staying your lineage with a faithfully and practice, and then if in case your life get interfering, the next life continually you're reborn to the same practice, then continually develop. So that is a great benefit there. But you try to get one time, get enlightened within the lifetime, you make all mistake. Then next life you may get in very difficult to find a teacher or teaching. And due to you have uncertainty, a doubtful mind, looking many things, many teaching, many teacher, then after all you are not getting benefit by teachings. Then possible you get the wrong views. Something wrong with the teachings. Something wrong with my teacher. Then after all you are the best, not mistaken. Everything is more wrong. So that really become quite wrong views person. Cannot anything fulfill during this lifetime and not any fulfill for next lifetime. So therefore, staying one lineage is I'll suggest it. This doesn't mean you have to sectarian, complain other teachings, other teacher. Respect and trust, believe to other teacher, other teaching, but you stay your path firmly, strongly. So that is the most important. My own experience, I find out I'm 85 now. So that meaning I do have lots of things see, lots of things I'm hearing, lots of experience. That's I experience now. So that is I can giving you what my, inside I finally see. We on a young time, only from young age, you make mistake by those different kind of mentally you exaggerating. Sometimes people talking, people saying. So that's happening. So that have to carefully stay on path, but don't be wrong views, disbelieve other religions, other teachings. In the world, all the teachings, all the religion, each have their own way to contribute humankind. At least you have motivated that way. And so therefore, all the religion have some kind of benefit and some kind of helpful. So don't be wrong views, put down other religion and disbelieving other lineages. So you have to keep that is important in mind. And so today I'm taking for His Holiness Kalu Rinpoche's teaching, and I replacing me here. So I will have his very much strong Shangpa practitioner, Shangpa lineage. So I'll say a little bit about Shangpa. Shangpa meaning Shangpa Kaju, Karma Kaju. Actually, there is beginning. There is Shangpa Kaju and Marpa Kaju. There's two Kaju only. And then Marpa Kaju is Marpa. Name of the Marpa is the Tibetan scholar and translator, truly accomplished yogi. His lineage, his family lineage called Marpa. Marpa is a lineage, always a family lineage. Where name have a family name, right? So the same thing, Marpa is his family names. Actually, his really name is Marpa Chukilodri. That is his name, Marpa Chukilodri. But Marpa is a lineage, Chukilodri is his name. So that's a family name and a real name. So that's his name. And he's born in Tibet, and he was early age that he was very much devoted to Buddha Dharma. And especially he quite interested to learn Sanskrit language. different language, Indian language, because that was Buddha born in India, and Buddha was speaking the language of Sanskrit. So he wanted to, beginning is very attracting the language of the Sanskrit. So he learned from Tibet some Sanskrit language, and eventually he turned his mind to he must go to India to learn this language, learn Buddha Dharma, where Buddha born, and there is more teachings clear exist there now. So he wanted to left from Tibet early age to in India, and he sacrificed his life because of the India is very hot weather, very polluted, and lots of insect bite, all this, and snake bite, have to cross the lake and oceans and mountain, those things he have to come through to come to India. So he knows that is what he has in front, but he sacrificed. Go to India to receive Buddha Dharma, and I can accomplish myself truly enlightenment, and I can benefit many beings. So in case for this purpose, if I die, let go of mine. I'm dying for that. He sacrificed his life, and he traveled from high snow mountain to the very hard weather in India. He traveling, at that time there had no airplane, no car, nothing there, any kind you can have transportation. He had to walk 2 feet, carrying his food himself. Going from snow mountain to always India. He's staying 3 times he came to India, Nepal, receiving teaching together. 18 years and a few months he's staying in India to receive these teachings, and from the great teacher who has accomplished teacher, he brings this teaching to Tibet. So Tibet, he, transmitted his teaching to his disciple, Milarepa, and other disciple. So that time, this the name of the Kaji, they call Marpa Kaji. So his family name is Marpa. So that person who bring this teaching and transmitted down Tibetan in that traditions, they call Marpa Kaji. So Kaji, Ka means a kind of oral. Ji means a lineage. So oral lineage, this means the teaching he received. His teacher told him this teaching cannot be carelessly giving anyone. Teaching have to be very, very specific, guru to disciple, with peer lineage, meaning that you quietly teach to your disciple who qualify and ready for these teachings, but not publicly. So that Ka meaning the word, Yu meaning the lineage, the kind of word transmission to his disciple. So then Kaju, that the name becomes, and Marpa is kind of his lineage. So Marpa Kaju. So that's why lineage become Marpa Kaju in Tibet, specifically that Marpa Kaju. And so from that, Marpa has a disciple, as I'm saying, up until Gampopa, then the Karmapa, there's other lineage also. Karmapa is our lineage, so it's Holiness Karmapa. From first Karmapa to 17 Karmapa exists now for benefit many beings. So lineage is very alive and strong. And also Gampopa have many disciples, and Kaji become many Kaji, 4 principal Kaji, then 8 branches Kaji, then created more Kaji. There's numberless Kaji over there. And I will listen, not numberless, but quite lots of Kaji called different name. So that's called Marpa Kaji, is a kind of come from great Mahasiddha Naropa. Naropa received that teaching from the Tilopa. And Tilopa received this teaching from right Lord Buddha Shakyamuni, the form of the Vajrayana, the Vajradhara, they call. So a kind of deity's form. And so also he received from Vajrayogini directly oral transmission. So Tilopa received that way, and then Tilopa passed down to Naropa, and Naropa passed down to Marpa. So Tilo and Nara both were Indian, but Marpa is a Tibetan who came from Tibet to India, received this teaching, and then distributed or passed down to all in Tibet, become quite polarized teaching of the Kajupa then that time. So that is the kind of Kaju, the Karma, the Marpa Kaju. And so now it's called Shangpa Kaju, specifically His Holiness Kalu Rinpoche, that he was involved last lifetime. And Kalu Rinpoche was actually recognized as that Jamgyong Kongdu Lodu Thai. Lodu Thai reincarnated 5 different incarnations: speech, mind, body, quality, activity. And Kalu Rinpoche last, he was to be activity incarnations recognized by the Dzogchen Rinpoche, also first time when he's young. And then later then Jayan Khense. And then I think that His Holiness Siptin Karmapa recognized him as Jamgyal Kongtrul for activity incarnations. But he, as ordinary monks, lamas, he educated, and finally he became the well-known, accomplished lineage holder of the Shangpa Kagyu. So, but actually originally come from this Shangpa Kagyu is the Niguma, which is in a lady. Niguma is a lady. It is an Indian lady, It was Afghanistan also some, its story kind of not clear to me. Anyway, she was from India, not from Tibet. So she was, as ordinary family born, but a special quality beginning with. But then after all, she was very devotee in practicing Dharma. Then same time, Naropa was studying Buddha Dharma, become quite learned scholar. And Naropa was also son of the kings in Bangladesh, the king sons. But king has only the son, but son was very much Buddha Dharma devotee and become very scholar, know the all 5 signs. But he's traveling go to different places, receiving different teaching. After all, he receiving teaching and becomes highly realized person. And then he come back home and he hoped to, father can allow him to ordain. That due to the father, he's only the son, there is kingdom, he need to king there. So father wanted him to be king, replace the father. And the father say, you have to marry. And then he said, okay, I'm going to marry, but I have to choose my wife then. So father allowed him that. So then I think he was predicting his wife, and that Niguma was a very young little girl. And finally, she met Naropa, they married, become, as normal, ordinary family. So this time pleasing his father, he married, staying as a married and lay person, but he's a very learned person. So both of them very devotion. Both of them, Niguma, Naro, both want to be renounced. Just practice Dharma to get enlightened for benefit being. Both have that attitude, want to renounce. They get a discussion about that. Both of them have same kind of attitude. So then they decide, okay, why just you go find great teacher and attain enlightenment, benefit beings. And I do same things. go practicing Dharma and try to realize, then benefit beings. They both decided, okay, we'll do. So both became saying, okay, now we are not wife, husband anymore. You're my sister. You're my brother. So we take part to find a teacher, God meditate to achieve the enlightenment within lifetime. Narapa ordained then, and his whole honored ordained, immediately they replaced him to Nalanda University scholar, He was the very famous university, Nalanda. He became scholar. He was one of the gate that he kept to anyone come to debate against the Buddhists. He answered and he did defeat. And so he was engaging there as a scholar. Later he became yogi, becoming enlightened beings. But Niguma was again, she has been gone through lots of different teachers receiving teaching, sutra and tantra, everything, and then meditated together with the teacher. And she became completely ripening karmic body to the celestial body, like rainbow body. So within the lifetime, transform the karmic ripening body to wisdom body as the deities. So she fully attained enlightenment, and she manifested as the celestial body, like enlightened body. Then because due to her realization, accomplishment, and she also met Lord Buddha, form of tantric form of the Lord Buddha Vajradhara. She met and directly received the transformation from Buddha Vajradhara, and she became anyone devotee people can see her anywhere. But there is no devotion, so they will see nowhere. She's completely gone now. So that kind of, one individual lady become within the lifetime for diligent devotions and attain enlightenment. That is what's called Niguma, Her name is Niguma. So she was very well known in India, but at the same time, only the realized person can be received teachings from her, and most people cannot able to see due to individual self-grasping and not see selflessness, dakinis. So that was the kind of make the not possible ordinary people can see. But someone equal realization being can see everywhere she is. So that is the Niguma. But again, this teaching come to Tibet was the one Tibetan guy. Of course, he was in Tibet. He was the born as Pon family, Pon religions. And then he was, because father, mother is Pon, and they influenced upon practice, Pon religion, and study early age upon. He becomes scholar, and then put into practice, he become highly realized, learned Mahapandita of the Pon religions. And everybody in the pen, he was the kind of head of the all. And he has the kind of guiding to all this Pon religion people. He had many disciples. He becomes accomplished through Pon religion. But so due to, his karma, that he was not completely satisfied or his understanding and his realizations, and then he's followed again Nyingma traditions. Nyingma tradition, he's studied, of course, he already very learned, and he became quickly become Pandita in the Nyingma tradition, and he became also great yogi and realized person that Dzogpa Chimbo, Mahasandhi. Again, he was the most respected great master in the Nyingma traditions. But he was continually searching himself to make sure Buddha teaching that he historically he can understanding Buddha born in India and teaching is still alive, and he must be he's so motivated to go to India, and then he's looking see anyone have teaching what satisfy him, and he looking for another great master in some near Salasa. He found someone who practiced Habajra Tantra and truly accomplished Mahamudra teachings. He beginning to, from the Nyingma to he joined again to that lineage, practicing Mahamudra practice. And he met the teacher and received the teaching in practice. He was quite satisfactory there somewhat. He was continually following the teacher. One day, teacher was saying, you are now in an equal realization to me. I have no more than you have realized. You completely realize what I have realization you have. And that time he was the doubt. I think he thinks that I have not realized anything. But he's saying I'm realized like equal to him. And then that kind of bring him some doubt. This is not the end path. So now he completely determined to go to India, find this teaching of the Buddha really. And then he beginning start to motivate to go to India now definitely. And so he was on the way to India, but he need to be finding there's nothing money that times. It had a lot of gold changings. To go to India, he need a bunch of gold to pay his fee for his lodging, eating, and whatever he needs some money. So he need the gold, but he have no gold. But again, fortunately, he on the way he met some two couple who has no children, but they have saved a lot, very much wealth, very wealthy. So he was kind of on the way. He one night staying the couple people house, and they really like him, so asking him to stay home. We have lots of wealth. You can have this wealth, prosperity. We like you to stay and take care of when I'm dying, dispose of our body and dedicate and make sure virtues up to they die. They request to him. He said, no, that's a good idea, but it's something I have better idea. If you give me some gold, I go to India, practice Dharma, and I get enlightenment, then I'll liberate you too. That's better. So they agree. They give the gold for him. So he get gold that way. And then he came continually as Marpa did it. He had to walk in the mountain, from snow mountain to way down to very hard weather. And there's lots of insect biting, snake danger, and animal danger, lots of lake, so all these things they go through very hardship. And that is also sacrificed their life. Maybe they die there. But then they think that they're poor, they bring Dharma to benefit the other being. They will let go their health, body. So they sacrifice their life to receive these teachings. And he came as the Marpa did it, exactly same things. So then that hardship he make, and he's staying in 50 years in India. Before he came from Tibet to India, he was already 50 years. And he's staying in India 50 years, that means 100 years already. While he's staying the 50 years in India, then he was learning language. First, he's staying in Nepal. Get used to be his health to, adjusted his health to hard weather. So he's staying in Nepal, and then continually come to India. And same problem, sick in all these things. It become almost die many times. Then he met many great masters. And the Buddha guy he met them. Dorji Dempa is one of the second Buddha. He was the most popular great master. And he requested an ordination there. Then received the teaching. And that teacher prophesied him, different teacher. Go this, and he tell him, go this teacher to receive this teaching. And so he was prophesied many. So actually, and he has completely received the teaching and then put into practice whatever he received there. Then that teacher sending the other teachers. So again, study there, receive the teaching and study, and then became accomplished through practice. So he has also 108 different kinds of master who is well known in India, truly accomplished yogi. So he has been 108 teacher, and he has been receiving teachings. Then he's a truly accomplished actually after all. But he was very determined to, each time he received the teaching, up to the teacher says, okay, I give everything what I have. And then he requires to say, there is truly enlightened beings in India where he is. Then somebody will be emphasized or prophesied, says, go this place, and this kind of great teacher is the great enlightenment. So that's why he received the teaching, so accomplish each of the teacher. And then finally, then that somebody says there's no one he have realized person in India now, then that wisdom Dakini Niguma. So you should meet her and you get everything you want now. So then he makes sure how he can get in that. So they told you that wisdom Dakini is a true enlightenment. Your devotion, she will be appear in front of you and receive and giving all teaching you need. You have not devotion enough, she will be never appear you. But if you determine to make devotion, prayer and supplications, there's some mountain, they emphasize that the mountain where is in the top of the mountain, she will become every the Dakini day, she performed the Gana Chakra offering, receiving the offering and instructing those Dakini. She appeared there. So that's the mountain likely you can see her. But you have to go around, prayer, and they give teaching to how to pray to him. So the mantra they give to him is Namo Buddhaya, Namo Guruhe, Beta Shri Daka Dakini, Zogini, Sora Buddha Bodhisattva Sharanam Getsame. That mantra you recite non-stop. Prayer and devotion. Go around that mountain. Someday she will be appear. Then appear then she will give you all the teaching that which India not have that teachings. And she is the one most in India there. No one realized person than her. So he was very attracted in hearing that. He really wanted to get that teaching and meet that great master, even come to his life. So he sacrificed and committed himself and go around this mountain all the time. They prayed Namo Buddhaya's prayer and the devotion to around and around all the time. Many years, I think he was kind of looking around her. And finally, then he found some mess of the rainbow in the space. In the middle of there's green dakinis and appear there. So he thinks that is what he wants. That is must be what the teacher have emphasized him. So he had no doubt. He bowed down and he have leftover gold he offered to the that Dakinis. Then she was saying, do not bow down me. I am the Dakini with the human flesh. So soon, there may be my return you come, you will be consumed. They will eat you. So better you run away before they come. But he had no doubt. That's it. Then he offered the gold. Everything gold he had, he offered. Then she was there, take the gold, and she threw all directions. And that time, Chumpaneljo, he thinks, well, she is even not have any clinging or need for this gold. He threw away the gold. She's maybe the one flash into the Dakini. I have to be careful now. So that time she was saying that, some kind of prayer, she says something. She says, when he throw the gold for direction, conscience circular, certain deed, yes, I think that's what he say. Conscience circular, certain, so she said, it is mountain, it's have the gold. All the retinue of the mountain is gold. So your material gold is not need. I have abundant gold. So she threw away. When she said that, then you can see, she's not need gold because she's already gold for herself. So mountain like gold she have, so she don't need a material gold. So he was in beginning, devotion, really become devotion and bow down or more. Then she was kind of looking for direction, staring her eyes for direction, and four Dakinis appeared there and making the mandala of the five tantric, and then making immediately constructed the mandala, and then she, empower him, for deities, for tantric deities, empowerment to the Chumpan Eljo, for Tibetan scholar, which he received, and that was very wonderful. He getting quite highly realized person become due to this empowerment she gave. But he has directly, Niguma give the one time all the Shangpa circle, teaching what we nowadays we have. She gave the one time, but I think the 3 times in the dream she gave. But he says more in the dream is more beneficial, effective him, the initiations. So she's finally giving all the detailed explanations, structure of the mandalas and traditions, everything very detailed, very kindly giving to him that instruction. And so that's why he received it directly, Wisdom Dakini Niguma, passing this teaching to Chumpan Eljo. So the Chumpan Eljo has been receiving from directly Niguma, this Shangpa circle. Shangpa Serchut Nanga we call it, or Golden Dharma we call. And this is kind of we call Tsawan Neguchudu, Dongbo Chaja Chibo, Medu Kachi Karma. There's Paul Golden Dharma we call. Tsawa Neguchudu is a kind of root of the teaching is Niguma 6 yoga of Niguma. And that is the kind of root of the these Niguma's instructions. Dongbo Chagja Chimbo means that the trunk of the tree was a Mahamudra of the Nigumas. And Yaga Lamker Namsums. So then the branches is the three carrying on the path. Lama Lamker, Yidam Lamker, Chujong Lamker, something Lamker Namsum there. Then Metu Kachi Karmas. Metu Kachi Karma is the flower of the tree. What flower was the white and the red dakinis, creation practice and accomplished practice. Metu Kachi Karma. And the fifth one, the Devu Chimin Chumi is the fifth one, is the last, is the kind of creation of that practice, which called deathless. Chimi Chugmi meaning that is a no subject death. There is no death, deathless, never dying. If you need in order to die, you have to something to die. First place, nothing there. There's nothing to kind of conceptualizing the die. So that is the result of this practice. That's called Sergio Nanga, meaning the 5 golden dharma. You see. Tsawa negochudu, dombu chade chimpo, yaga lamkan namsu, metu kachi karma, devu cheme chomi. So this is a teaching of the Niguma give direction to Chungpan elders. So he received that. So that teaching is made complete and satisfied. So also he met another Dakini is called Sukhasiddhi. So Sukhasiddhi has own doctrine directly. And she has the same, so 6 yoga, Imam Mudra, everything's her and the lineage. Sukhasiddhi also too. Sukhasiddhi is as ordinary human girl too. In fact, Sukhasiddhi was near the Bodh Gaya. She was have the marry and have husband. She had 1 son, 1 daughter, and lived there her life. And then 1 year there's very poverty because there are no rainings and then very hard to get water and no fruit. People dying there. And such kind of, difficult time. And then she was their family for her husband and 2 children, and she's a householder there. But what they do is that 3 of them, father and 2 children, going to begging around and bring the food, and every day they surviving, not dying. But they collected some rice and then left a little rice, and they told, the left of the rice should be hidden and leave there. When about to die, then you just open the rice, we eat them, surviving, not dying. So don't touch their rice. And meantime, we'll just go begging and bring the food when he's surviving day by day. So they go into begging, so father and the 2 children, and the mother is at home. And she's very kind, loving. She'll give up her life for other people need. So that time, so poverty people very hungry, thirsty. So some beggar came, asked him the food. And then she thinks, well, my children, my husband will bring some food. What we have here a little bit, maybe let him to have, can eat, survive himself. And she took the rice to give this beggar. Then up to all that father and husband came back, asked him to, can you take the rice, what we have saved? Today I'm not finding any rice, so we have to make soup the rice, surviving today. She told rice, I'll just give you oil. And husband, of course, not happy with that. And then the daughter come back, same thing, daughter have no food. And not any food brings. So daughter said, same things. Mother said, no, I give it away. And son come back and no food at all. So now it's 3 of them very frustrated to mom, the mother giving food, what they collected, it's saved there. And 6, she go to break, she begging, but she was giving what they say. And they just say, okay, you really make this miserable in the family. You leave now. We don't need you here. What we have done so much, and you will not have to appreciate it, and then you even just give away what we say. And they kick out her. She already had 60 years at the time. And she left. And then they just don't want her to be around her. She's a walk. Finally, she came to from far away from India. It's almost like Afghanistan there. So where she finds they grow rice very nicely, that people are really enjoying their kind of harvesting things. So she get that kind of country up to all. And their family kicked her out, and she was very miserable. And losing the children, losing the husband, losing the country, the whole family. So she after walking alone, the 60-year-old, and finally she find a place where have lots of rice growing. So she baked the rice, she find some rice, then she cooked the rice. She make the kind of wine, very strong chang, we call wine. And she kind of sit in the corner, she's selling chang, and for it she will live herself. So she become quite well-known, giving person. And she's up to all, she has good karma there. And then while she's doing that, and then there is one great yogi live in the mountain. This kind of Briopa, which is Sarkapa lineage. He was the kind of transmitted Sajja lineage. Mahasiddha Briopa is sitting in the mountain meditating there. But then one of his attendants, one lady, every day come down to city and getting the chang, the meat, whatever the need for yogi to eat. And then she kind of coming, buying, and eventually come to the whole place to, buying. So the lady come every day, every same time, the same things she buying. So she was questioning, so where are you giving this? Now you're not eating here, you're taking, who are you giving this? And then the lady says, well, there is a very great yogi, so highly realized person, and he's meditating in the mountain, so I'm assisting him. So I'm giving the chang to him and give this meat to him to he can stay there and continually meditate. Then she was immediately so, that case, I like to meet that. Can you take me? She said, oh, well, of course, we'll take you. Then she had free chang and food and make offerings. So she said, okay, you don't need to. I'll go with you. I make offering myself this. Then she go there and she offer that offering to the Mahasiddha Briopa. Briopa received that chang, the food, everything he ate. Then he says that is kind of very fortunate and karmically connected. And he's immediately empowered her. Then by that very moment, he empowering her. That time she was completely realized, and her ripening karmic body to the celestial body, rainbow body, she becomes Sambhogakaya form. And her name also Sukhasiddhi, and we Tibetan Devi Mudup Sukhasiddhi, name of that, and she was in a space, equal to his guru, that she can levitate it from the ground to the space, receiving teaching, and all this. She realized total Mahamudra and actually achieved the true realization. And that way she become accomplished. And then she's become achieved deathless. She kind of, just like Niguma, she became transferring all the karmic ripening body to the celestial body, rainbow body. So that's the Sukhasiddhi. And also Chungpa made all the circle teaching of Sukhasiddhi from direct Sukhasiddhi to Chungpa angels. So he getting them together. He has 150 teacher in general who has strongly he have great realization from them, and he have truly pure samaya. And then especially that he have the 5 root gurus. So the one is Dorje Dempa, one is the Maitreya, one is the Sukhasiddhi, one is Niguma. So these, one is Rahul, I think. So the 5 of them are become his root guru. And among all the guru, these 5 of them, the root guru. The more especially these 2 wisdom dakinis, his principal, extra kind to receiving teachings, bless him, call the instructor to everything. So he says that 2 of them are more special. So anyway, that is the teacher, 150 teacher, he received all the teaching, particularly this 5 teacher here received special teachings. So Chimbo Najers become, his body have the 5 tantric deities, his body as the Guya Samaja, his speech as the Mahamaya, a mind as the Habajra, quality as the Chakrasambhara, activity as the Mahabhajabarahi, Jigje. So these 5 tantric deities on his speech, mind, body, and activity and quality. So that way, fortunate people can see Chungpo Nelger have that 5 deities within his speech, mind, body, and activity and quality. And so, of course, then someone who have no karma, they cannot see this, but fortunate people can see directly. That much is a completely realized person who came to Tibet and bring the teaching to Tibet. So he was practicing. Of course, that also there's another story. He received particularly the Mahakala teachings, the 6-hour Mahakala teaching received from the Maitreya, Mahasiddha Maitreya. So Maitreya received this Mahakala particular teaching is from the Shawaripa. And Shawaripa received the Mahakala teaching direct to Mahakala, and also Bajadhara the same. So he received the teaching of the Mahakala Sadhana and teachings and everything instruction from the Mahakala to Shawaripa, Shawaripa to Mitripa, Mitripa to Chungpo Nejur. And so this also Chungpo Nejur, this Mahakala lineage from the India to Tibet, also the Chungpo Nejur bring that. So he was practicing, come back to Tibet, and fully he's enjoy and fulfill his mind by these teachings. And he was practicing in Shang regions. Shang is the region of the Tibet, one of the region. So he was practicing there. So Mahakala was kind of completely supporting him as his attendant, because there's a Maitreya told him, if you truly practicing Dharma for benefit sentient being, you don't have to pray even Mahakala. Mahakala follow you and helping me. Anything need, he will be providing. So according to Maitreya, he believed and he practicing in the cave. Then someday he has a kind of lost everything, what he had food and everything. And so he was believed to his guru. His guru told me, Mahakala helping me. Mahakala not helping anymore because I have no food for today, even though I have the offering tonight to Mahakala practice. So he go to outside the cave, he's shouting, Mahakala, I say, my guru Maitreya told me, you Mahakala following me, attending me, anything I need, but now I have no food. Even I don't have a big offering samba to Mahakala. So where you are now? So he shouted from his cave. The evening, he have lots of from China, from India, business people come by and find out there's a yogi. They bring him to gold, silver, and meat, food, butter, just abandoned. So that's kind of way to say is Mahakala is kind of listening him. Mahakala hear him, and Mahakala bring all this city for temporarily he practice need, and he so much he has wealth now. And that time he realized this, I wasting this wealth, I have to make monastery. So he make the monastery, big monastery. And then he has a teaching, he giving teaching, India from Bodh Gaya to China from Beijing. All the disciples come there to receive the teachings. He has, so 10 times, we call Tisa Chobge, meaning it's quite, and he has more than 180,000 disciples gathering one time. So that much he get flushed. There's this place where he's practicing, there's a Shang. So the Shangpa, meaning the Shang region he was practicing, the lineage has flourished from that region. So they call Shangpa Kaju. It's a oral whisper lineage, which is flourishing this teaching from Shangpa. And Shangpa Kaju, the name from the Shangpa Kaju there. The Shangpa Kaju is in Tibet, you develop that name. So that's the Shangpa Kaju name become. And so he was continually teaching that time in Tibet. Shangpa Kaju become most popular everywhere, every corner, Shangpa Kaju. So saying that time he has a disciple, 10,000 disciples can sit on the space and with the lotus position while he's teaching, and they not need to sit in the ground. That much accomplished disciple, he have 10,000 disciples. But many of them who receiving teaching from him have some kind of realization. It's countless. So that much Shangpa Kaju was developed, increased there. So Shangpa Kaju is the most popular one time. So now in that case, we have, Tibet has Marpa Kaju and Shangpa Kaju is the 1-2 Kaju. 2 Kaju is the only name there, And the Shangpa Kaju was that more later than most of the Shangpa Kaju people, lineage are practicing in the mountain. They don't come to build a monastery, make a lot of disciples outside. Up to later, a few centuries later, and then become kind of lineage become like shrink down. And so that's why in Tibet right now, this time, and Shangpa in particular, there are no lineage, no Shangpa monastery, Shangpa Kaju monastery. Only lineage holder here, there, but not specific Shangpa monastery really who continually carrying on Shangpa Kaju lineage, but most of them in the yogi in the mountain. So they are not carrying too much of flourishing or in the lineage to keeping lineage, preserving lineage. They don't have. Most of them living in the mountain. So it become lineage become thinner and thinner. Then practice and blessing become very strong. So adopted by the different school about this lineage. And so the one of the Taranatha, he was kind of Kalachakra Tantra practitioner, but he was also very much in Nigu lineage. He has been composed and Nigu lineage. He find out most of the authentic, profound teaching there, and lineage was so pure. So he put together on his lifetime, he's very scholar, and there is no one learned and accomplished yogi at his time. And at the same time, just before the 5 Dalai Lama, and Taranatha was lifetime. Taranatha was there. And when in the 5th Dalai Lama take over Tibet, at that time Taranatha passed away actually. But when he was very little baby, that time Taranatha was in a still lifetime. He's alive and performing his teaching. He's very popular. But he was the one of the very put together the Shangpakaji, not completely disappear. That time almost disappeared, but he collected teaching different place and he put together. So that was he did it there. So that's the Taranatha become very important in Shangpa lineage now. And then later that is the 19th century great scholar and mass Siddha, the Jamgon Kodu Rinpoche, the Lodu Thai, Yuan Tenjan, so he has a name called Yuan Tenjan, so Lodu Thai, and another name also too. So this is a great master. He was actually studying Nyingma traditions. Shishe Monastery, there's Mahapanchit Tudam Namgyo was a very scholar and my highly realized person. And then Jamgyong Kongtrul Lodu Thai was, again, he was in Bon religions. His family is Bon. And then his father died early. And then if his mother and then stay with the uncle, so uncle is a little bit troublemaker, I think. So Dirgi King put him in jail. So that time, mother cook, and in the jail in Tibet, you have the family have to support. They not give the food in jail, just stay and keeping there inside. So that time, mother cook and the food is sending her son to take her husband to put in the jail. So her son who taking food to her husband was the Jamgyong Kongtrul Lodu Thai. Actually, he was a very little boy. No one know who he is, but he's a little boy, and his stepfather is kind of in jail. The mother asked him to take the food in the jail, but jail was not part in the office. King's official offices around there. Very learned people in there in the office, king's minister, secretary, and so on. So he go there to give the food to his father, stepfather. And on the way, and they tease him. He's a little boy and a cute boy. They tease him. They say something the boy will tell him much deeper than answering to them. So every time they tease, he getting very smart. Answer was kind of impossible. This little boy can say that and think of these things. So after all the minister and secretary and telling the king, this boy is very, very smart. He says so and so. And then one time, the king thought, well, maybe helpful, it's intelligent person. Maybe I can adopted him and send him to school. So he called him to come to kings, and king talked to him. And he was no doubt, answered to kings, no doubt. And he said kings, but everybody's scared to talk about, but he had not any scared. He was telling direct answer. And then king was really amazed that guy was so intelligent. So king said, okay, I'm sending you to school. You're going to school? He said, of course, you give pay me, I'll go. But my family have no food. So you have to give. Then king, of course, he's a king. So king can take his son from the mother and send it to Shishe Monastery, where is a highly realized scholar and accomplished teacher there. So sending the Jamgyong Kongtrul Rinpoche, he's not Kongtrul Rinpoche. They didn't say any Kongtrul Rinpoche, but they just sent it a little intelligent boy to send their future. The king want to be secretary or some minister there. And so intelligent boy. So he was studying with that Shichen Tudop Namje, Mahapandit Tudop Namje, which is very learned person. And he studied. That time he has the schoolmate was the one of the Jahane Kenzu was there, Kenzi Kengema, all Kenzi. And then one was Zapatu Rinpoche there. And then three of them are the very, very special reincarnation. But Jayan Kenzi has respect, some incarnation Lama. The Patu Rinpoche, Jamgyong Kongtrul Rinpoche, they don't know who is. Some would karmically connected together, they made together as a schoolmate, classmate. So that time, Shijen Tutup Namgye is very accomplished and he has some kind of nation, I believe. Jayan Khenze Rinpoche have yellow brocade clothes and more like a high incarnation Lama. And then Jamgen Kotu Rinpoche is not incarnation. He has kind of goat skin wearing that. And then Padu Rinpoche is also ordinary person. He has like the sheepskin wearings. It's cold weather, they have to, so that is ordinary people wear that. So that time, Chichen Tudom Namgye is giving teaching, they come every day, Chichen Tudom Namgye will say, Bima Kyusarchi. So Khenze Rinpoche was the Bima Beta's incarnations. Bima Beta is, disciple of Guru Rinpoche from India, but past in China, they reincarnated as Giant Khenze Rinpoche. So he knows this the incarnation of that Bima Beta. So Bima Kyusarchi meaning that Bima, you who are wearing the yellow bucket, you sit right here. So he put him right in front of him. Then he will say that Jamgyal Kotu Rinpoche was saying, wearing goat skins. So Bero Rapaji, you sit next to there. So Bero Rapaji meaning that Bero Chanas, who is a translator from India to Tibet on Guru Rinpoche time, a disciple of Guru Rinpoche, disciple of the great master in India. So he was the incarnation out there. So he said, the Bharatana, you wearing the goat skin, but you sit next to that. And then the other one is kind of called it, Shila Tsingtsatsin. Shila Tsingtsatsin is the Padu Rinpoche was the reincarnation of the Santideva. And he wearing the goat sheepskin. So he said, Santideva, you are wearing like sheepskin, but you staying next to him. So he already recognized that, but no one knows that. So that time already say, you are Bima Beta, you are Bharatana, you are Santideva. You sit this way, line up. So he gave me teaching that way. So that time he was kind of recognizing, but he was not only the high scholar, but he not have incarnation name, but he's a very nice person. So no one cared that. Later become, as he named, they are become incarnation of those. Later great master recognize them. So that is Kondo Rinpoche was a kind of, at that time, it's just a study and he's become very learned to five sign, direct from that scholar, Mahapandita. So now the Dirgi King know he's learned, and Dirgi King want to take his office, that boy. And but also Jamben Tai Siddha Rinpoche, Tai Siddha Palpung Monastery. And Siddha Rinpoche was the king's teacher, root guru of the kings. So then Siddha Rinpoche's attendants, Siddha Rinpoche's high, incarnation Lama who attending Siddha Rinpoche, and they are looking for some incarnation Lama in the Palpung and to assist Siddha Rinpoche. That time name become very popular because there are learned people there, and Jamgre that time not Lodu Thai, but he was the one of the very fine scholar, and so he was ordained already that time. And then Siddha Rinpoche knows the king take it in his office. Then Siddha Rinpoche cannot say the king, give me. But then before he took, and Siddha Rinpoche people bring Jamgre Kodu into Palpung Monastery, and then telling the Palpung Monastery, you Siddha Rinpoche is a very high incarnate Lama, you should be ordained and receive blessing, receive your guru, you should be made. So he was kind of, came and very learned person, and Siddha Rinpoche giving him ordinations. So that historically says that Siddha Rinpoche give ordination, and that time Jamgya Kondo Rinpoche, he says, I have received the ordination from that his teacher. I didn't broke my vow, so I don't need to take this vow. And so by anyway, they made force, and Siddha Rinpoche said yes, and Siddha Rinpoche ordained him. When he's ordained, he says the moment of ordination, normally he has great trust and belief inside when they give, and he thinks he receive. And he doesn't have any kind of feeling of he receiving vow. And then he say, that means I didn't broke the vow, I already have. So therefore I don't have that feeling especially. So that he says, historical say, I saw that too. And so that is, Siddha Rinpoche give the ordination, but he's okay, he already have it. But the Bodhisattva vow he give, that time Siddha Rinpoche give him the Lodu Thai. So Lodu Thai is kind of, in the sutra, the purpose of the Buddha, the Lodu Thai, such and such name of the Lama come, and he will be teaching of the Buddha. Buddha is kind of flourishing by writing, reading, debating, persuading, and giving teaching. So the Buddha has purposized there. So they say now, the Lodu Thai Jamgyal Kongtrul Rinpoche is Buddha had prophesied that. So this is kind of incarnation also from beginnings. But again, this not have traditionally have the incarnation have that way. But then in the Palpung, need to be some, have to name incarnation. Otherwise, the Rigi King will take it. So they want to know how to name him now. We have to give some name of incarnations. Otherwise, King will take it. Then somebody give idea, there's Kongbu regions, some monk came and practicing in a retreat, he become truly accomplished yogi there. And then he was, everybody called Kongbu Lama, he's from Kongbu, and Lama from Kongbu. Kongbu is a region of Tibet, one place. So Kongbu Lama, the Kongbu Lama passed away. More than 7-8 years, no incarnation there. So they called Siddha Rinpoche, can you name him Kongbu? Kongbu Tulko. Kongtrul, meaning it's Kongbu Tulko. So, okay, he's named Kongtrul. And up to have incarnation Kongtrul, then meaning incarnation Lama. So king cannot take him. So stay in the monastery to assist the monastery. So he become Kongtrul Rinpoche, that's Kongtrul. But he's not the Kongtrul Lama's incarnation. He's really have the incarnation from Buddha's lifetime. He was Ananda, Buddha's attendant, assisting Buddha. So the Ananda, so the incarnation of the Jamgyal Kongtrul Rinpoche, Then he was the Bharatana in the Guru Rinpoche time. And he was a Rechungpa on Melarapa time. And then he was, Taranatha, he was a Chungpan elder. He was the kind of Dorji Lingpas. So many different incarnations. He came to Tibet, take different place. And then, somewhat he become ordinary being and never incarnation name before. Certainly they have to give name. The Kongtrul name is prophesized. And giving him to forbidding not go to the king's secretary. So then Kongtrul Rinpoche is called, that name begin. But then he was very much practicing karma kaju, nyingma, combination practice. And he assisted assisted to Khyentse Rinpoche, then Chogyo Limpa, and I put in all this kind of 5 treasure we have. So he kind of put together 5 treasure, such as like Rinchen Terzu, Dhamma Zu, Gyatsen Kadzu, Shije Zu, Kajungak Zu, 5 treasure, which is whole together of the whole lineage of the Tibet is become 5 treasures. He put together, Jamgyal Kongtrul Lodu Thai. He put together, and so which is now used by Nyingma and Kaju, and that initiation. So when you get that initiation, you get every initiation in Tibet existing lineage. So that is Jamgyal Kongtrul Rinpoche. The addition to that, he was very much put together Shangpa Kagyu lineage. And Khenze Rinpoche, Jaya Khenze and Kongtrul Rinpoche, both 19th century, they collected the Shangpa Kagyu teaching from all over. Jaya Khenze also sometimes he received teachings, sometimes he find the teaching that lost almost. Then he keep track his teaching where how far up until had the lineage existed, and he find there is some man who's not too much dharma, but he shepherd, he has a sheep watching the mountain, but that person have some Shangpa Lama give some initiation. He was there, that man. He received the special teaching, is completely gone otherwise. Jaya Khenze called the man, teach him to how to write or read. But finally, Jaya Khenze Rinpoche received that teaching from that shepherd. So that way to put together lineage. Otherwise, the shepherd doesn't give, that lineage not existed. So that much they put together Jamgyal Kongtrul Rinpoche as well there too. And then also the historically Jaya Khenze Rinpoche visit from country in Tibet called pilgrimage. He came to Shang region. Our Chumbu Nature have seat there, in the monastery, small monastery there. So there is one Chumbu Nature statue he made himself. And Chumbu Nature consecrated the statue and then asked him to statue. Chumbu Nature say, "Can you be representing me here?" And statue say, "Yeah, I'll do it." So that's kind of Chumbu Nature, they talking to, life to life, like. So Khenze Rinpoche came there, pilgrimage, and staying for many days, meditate, prayer. And most of the Shangpa Kagyu lineage received transmission from that statue to Jaya Khenze. The Jaya Khenze, this initiation, gave the Jamgyal Kongtrul. And Jamgyal Kongtrul himself also received the teaching from the Shangpa Lama who did the mountain. Shangpa Lama was refused giving teaching to him. Many times he requests, Shangpa Lama doesn't want to give that. And he doesn't want to give it because of that no one practice. And then it's not like just giving away and unuseful. It is very useful. Somebody want to do practice, I'll give it. Then Jamgyal going to have to be commit himself. He will do retreat of this Shangpa Kagyu, and he will be also a constructed retreat, and then he will be transmitted to our lineage, and Shangpa Lama he will be producing. So he committed from that Lama, he get the whole session of circle of the Shangpa from that Lama, and then Jamgyal Kongtrul Rinpoche begin to near Palpung. There's called Tsada Rinchen Tak. It's very popular now. So I was visiting last few years ago. So Jamgyal Kongtrul Rinpoche have 13 cave he made there, 13 monks to go retreat. And Jamgyal Kongtrul Lodha Thai's time, he provided from them food and clothes and 3 retreat, Shangpa, and lots of great masters came from that cave. So then Jamgyal Kongtrul Rinpoche keep the Shangpa lineage become very live. The source of the Shangpa Kagyu now is the Tsada Rinchen Tak above the Palpung Monastery, which I visit 3 days. I will stay there too. So they're still going on. Last night, so 40 people, young people are practicing Shangpa lineage. And then after Jamgyal Kongtrul Rinpoche passed away, then some Khenze was keep second Kongtrul Rinpoche, keeping a little bit, but not too much care. And then Kalu Rinpoche retreat entered there under the care of the Chuan Norbu Tendrup. And then Rinpoche, Chuan Norbu Tendrup appointed, and Siddha Pema appointed Kalu Rinpoche to be retreat master there. So when he was a retreat master there, while he was a retreat master, he built it, extended it from 13 to 25 monks retreat there. And that time, he built, Kalu Rinpoche himself built it. And then addition to 13, then he provided food, clothes, while they are retreat. So Kalu Rinpoche kind of extended more the Chadha Rinchen Thak. And Chadha Rinchen Thak is become pretty much Kalu Rinpoche care. He was the kind of who taking care of all the retreatant, and he keep teaching them, initiating them. And the second Jamgyal Kongtrul Rinpoche giving completely, entirely that like that Kalu Rinpoche run that center, that place. So until Kalu Rinpoche left from Tibet, he was engaging as a retreat master. He produced so many great student disciples. So well known to Shangpa Kaji become very effective, very useful for the time being need people, for sick people, dying people, and many beneficial from the Shangpa Lama. And then Rinpoche appointed his own disciple to take care of the monastery, and he left. And he come to Tibet, and Tibet to come over, sent him to Bhutan. He made Bhutan Shangpa retreat. He built it there. And I was there, that retreat, 3 years I finished there, my retreat. So the Shangpa is become, last Kalu Rinpoche was the most flourishing the Shangpa lineage. But Kalu Rinpoche is not only Shangpa, he's Karma Kaji also too. But Shangpa is the main practice. Shangpa is, he's more, take care, and his teachings are most, likely he gave the Shangpa teaching, Shangpa practice, but Karma Kaji as well. So that's why this Shangpa Kaji become now flourishing. So that great master, Kalu Rinpoche, Ranjung Kunjab, passed away last 85, and then after he passed away, within a 2 years, reincarnated. Rinpoche, last Kalu Rinpoche's own nephew, Gelsen, most of the older people know about him. He visited with Kalu Rinpoche. He became father of this Kalu Rinpoche, and the mother from Bhutan, a young lady, and so they born in this Kalu Rinpoche, recognized by the Jamgyal Taisido Rinpoche. Of course, in all other High Lama sport, he's as incarnate Lama, and this is the Kalu Rinpoche. And right now, he was supposed to coming. This time, he should be practicing today here, but some reason his visa failed to not able to come here. So I have to be his replacing him. So it's just like replacing the driver. So that's just kind of funny. But anyway, so this is a path of liberation, right? So that's the title. So that is following this path, you can liberate it. So of course, basically always, no matter what, your Buddhism, you need to be very strong devotion to 3 jewel, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Buddha is very important. That's your destinations. Dharma is the path. You walk on that to get the destination by enlightenment. The Sangha is your guide, companions on the path. Path is danger. Danger because mistake, danger of our ego, danger of the anger, desire, jealous and greed, those things, danger. So past such danger, we need to some very trustworthy companions who can guide from the danger, protect from the risk, and make us to not to be danger or risk by our companion. So that is Sangha. Sangha meaning someone who knows Dharma very well. Not only know Dharma well, but live with Dharma very well. Know Dharma well, not make too big difference. But you need to live with the Dharma is very, very important. Somebody who live with the Dharma, that person can give you, put into the right in the path of Dharma. And then they will not allow you to left and right, mistake and danger, So that is the kind of Sangha has responsibility there. But we have to trust the Sangha to them can lead us, guide us, protect us. So that is Sangha is very important. So we need first basically know the Buddha. Buddha is simply we call Buddha. That really Buddha means that someone completely dispel sense of ego, selfish, self-cherishing. When you have no ego, then there's no anger, no desire, no ignorance, stupidity. So that is our destination. That is our aim to achieve. So in order to achieve that aim, we have to understanding the quality. We have to have determined to achieve that quality in its perfections. So you have totally trust on that Buddha, then you will be perfectly safe, protected. But you don't know the quality, then you don't know what you're doing it. In order to, you want to believe, you have to trust someone who can, what you believe can fulfill. And if you trust that selflessness, dispel all our affliction emotions, that is really we need to be cultivate time to time mindful, that quality. That is our destination. That is the way we work here as Buddhists, So when you really believe, trust with that, then that is because we trust and believe. Where come from this belief, there's wisdom from the past, Dharma, study, learning, experiencing. So that is the very important, because that is to make you to trust to Buddha become unfailed and become stable. So in order to get that wisdom from Dharma, you need to companion Sangha, human language, understanding human beings, understanding human nature. So these beings are the Sangha who live themselves on that pure path, and they will put us in pure path completely. So we really have this one, 3, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. You trust and believe in devotion, you're safe. Temporarily, miraculously, you will be free of any problem, confusion, difficulty. So any obstacle hindrance to future will be dispelled. Whatever happened now, this unpleasant thing can be dispelled, subside. But of course, we know we cannot do it. You continually suffer, continually encounter suffering, the obstacle there, because we don't have the enough trust, belief, competence. See? So that reason we need to develop faith to 3 jewels, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, is very important. So that is the very important post, faith and trust to 3 jewels. So it's very important. But the second, again, you need to have great sense of love and compassion. How much important Buddha to get enlightenment we have? Sentient being is equal to Buddha. Without sentient being, we cannot get enlightenment. So basically, we need to compassion. We need to loving kindness. There are no sentient beings. Who you will kind, who you will loving, who you will compassion. Due to sentient being, that will be, we have object, they see things, suffering of sentient being, then can develop the compassion. Wish to happiness to all sentient being is loving kindness. Wish to free from suffering sentient being is compassion. And compassion not meaning it's just sorry this and sorry that. Compassion means you have to think of all sentient beings without exceptions as your parents. According to Kadamba tradition, special 5th instruction, there are 7 different ways one can generate bodhicittas. Marishipa, Tintempa, Tinzo. So these 3. Marishipa meaning no sentient being as your mother. Then you Tintempa meaning remembering, well, they are my mother, how kind, loving, compassion to me. Remembering their kindness. And third, Tinzoa means that you have determined to pay up their kindness by the kind to them, loving and compassion to them. Loving compassion can be fake. I do nice to someone, that's not my love. And sometimes compassion, that's maybe not the compassion. I loving sometimes I wish to get something from that person. That's not love. I expect to get something. That business. That's not love. Love meaning unexpected love. You care that person to be happy unexpectedly. The compassion, you want to be free from suffering, that person. You want to get from future he can help me. He can be nice to me. People can see I'm doing nice, good things here. That way you have compassion. That compassion, artificial, fake, not real. You really want to free suffering no matter what. Whether you're a family, you're your mother, son, your girlfriend, your mother, or your enemy, or indifferent. Doesn't matter. The person needs to be free suffering. You do from your heart, free suffering from your heart. No expectation at all. So that is the true love, true compassion. But artificially, we always do that, no matter what. People happy, then nice, laughing, gentle, kind, and look like some compassion, some loving kindness there. But the deep sense is not. At certain point, oh, I have hungry, I have to go to eat. Doesn't matter. Forget that things. It's raining, so I cannot do it. Hard, too hard, I'm not can do it. That kind of love, compassion doesn't mean to be love and compassion. The love, compassion have to be no matter what, who this person is, what kind of suffering is, how long takes it. So you have to dedicate it. So then, first you recognize his mother, all sentient being. Second, you have to be remembering their kindness. Third, you have to perform, pay their kindness. That's 3. Then original compassions, giving really suffering a sentient being, you should free. Not delay, do your best. Then loving kindness, any way I can contribute love, happiness, bring to happy, comfortable, I should be not expecting anything. From your heart, bring this happiness. That is now is a 5th, number 5th among the 7, Then 6th, number 6 is called fluxum. Fluxum is the kind of your mind that's not having clinging and attachment to your love and compassion. It's like some meanings from the depth of your heart. You're not expecting anything. And one was text we say, Janchu de Belujan Tangena, Chirongi Punala Tashimes. There's still length and numbering Jambata Bagelse Lalings. So that is saying is that, really your own engaged bodhisattva path. You have to give up your own life, your body. No concern of your material, but even you have to give your body. Someone who really want to path to liberation. So therefore, you give your generosity without expecting the return or without expecting ripening prorations. So then what you love and compassion is no expecting return, no expecting the result. So do it from your heart. So that is the bodhisattva who engaged in the path. So that kind of attitude is quite laksam. It's a kind of your mind quite embracing what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're thinking. Expecting nothing, just care the beings to free suffering and bring to total happiness for lasting forever. So that kind of attitude is kind of have a center in your mind. That's called laksam. That is meaning their mind is completely extra attitude, extra feeling toward others. So that is laksam. That makes 6. Then last is bodhicitta. Bodhicitta meaning last you want to dedicate everything to benefit all sentient beings. That's 7. This particularly we call Kadam traditions. Kadam tradition from George Atisha and all the 7 maintaining tradition, special pit instruction. They added that one there. It's called 7. 7 things there. It's called. Those what's counting now, you may know it. So 7 of them, person, Marshiba, know also in your mom. Because this life, your mom. Then you are this mom like the other lifetime mom too. So how many lifetimes you born this world is in numbering. And Nagarjuna said, you put in all the material in the world, a heap of, and the roll of small juniper tree side, you counted it, but this material roll not enough. Our modern number is more than that. And then you think, save the blood. Our mothers and how many, so this ocean is not enough, more than that. And so that case, that's numberless sentient being has been my mother because I born in numberless time. Each time I had a mother. So therefore, one mother is better than the other. No, all mothers equally even care us. They give sacrifice, they give up. Whatever they give us, it doesn't mean they don't need to give it to us. Even they don't want to use it themselves. Warm, they don't want to use it. They give it to children. Delicious food, they give the children. Gently says, or softly touchings. So children, they so why they raise us. But each time mother has been such kind and loving. Then every mother has the same love, same kind, everyone. So therefore, I have to think of all my mothers sentient being free from suffering, whatever their suffering is. And I want all of them happiness for everlasting happiness. All of my mothers, So these are the very, very important part of our motivating compassion to all sentient beings. Is one of the important tool to get enlightenment. Besides, we're talking about devotion to three jewels. So compassion, loving kindness, together one, and devotion to three jewels, these two become very important. So sentient being is same benefiting us to get enlightenment that Buddha, who his teaching, blessing, benefiting us. So therefore, Buddha and sentient being are someone engaging bodhisattva path, equal them, respect. So that is what we should do true Buddhism practicing, Mahayana Buddhism practicing. So that is a quite important part, whether you follow any lineage. Doesn't matter. Lineage doesn't matter. This is an important devotion and compassion, you know. And so time being, we have some information, right? So we have information now?
Yeah, we can do that. We have one question from Yeshe.
Okay, so we can take that one, then we input information. One question? Okay. Yes.
So when you visited Sadra Rinpoche Drop a few years ago, did you see Noble Fundung?
Yes, I was very regret because I did not visiting the Cape. Because over there, very road is very difficult to go around. I always come from the main road to go to Chadak Rinjeta. Two people have to almost carrying me there. But that's somewhere in the other side of the mountain, Tuan or putting Cape there. And that Cape, I don't know, he's Kudung there. But he's meditated. There's some lamas still meditating there, but I'm not been there. Unfortunately, I wish to be. Yes. Okay.
So maybe break.
Few seconds. 1 minute, 5 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. 10 minutes. Okay, so we are resume again. So I have to finish program. So continuation of the teaching, what we're talking about. So of course, bodhicitta, what we're talking about is that bodhi means enlightened mind, citta means the heart, so heart of enlightenment. Up to all that's the 7 point what I have given you, that will be raise our bodhicitta, means that will be make the last that we have no any clinging and attached to our personal people or have enemy or someone who no have any enemy or non-enemy. So equally no attached, no angry, no ignorant, We're not ignorant people who have nothing to do with you. They need suffering. They have suffering. We must pay attention to release their suffering, motivated through or speak or physical actions. So we should be applied. And so so that is very important. Not you ignore them, So that means you ignore them because you are not attached them, and you are not angry them either. So that means you ignore that this person has nothing to do with me, good or bad. So what happens is they suffer in their happiness. You're not rejoicing their happiness. They suffer, you don't feel sorry there too. So that is called ignorance. So you should not ignore on an individual like that. You have to be equally pay attention them to free suffering, to bring happiness that you can. And then again, same things that your enemy, that you have suffer or pain. whatever situation they have, you should not be, resisted them because you feel, I hate them. I don't want to help them. And I don't want to do anything them happiness, even I can't contribute happiness them. I'll not do it because I hate them. And also, I don't have any way to interested to help them. So you get angry, then you have that kind of feeling. So that feeling is the opposite of the you are supposed to be. You're supposed to be treat them equally. So whether they come with gun to kill me, but still I should be care them. Should not be saying that, oh, he want to kill me. I should be kill him, actually, hurt him. And it should not have that kind of attitude. Even in that case, you feel he's a bad enemy for me, but at the same time, he suffering pain. He come with a gun to kill me. He thinks that will make him happy. So that's very ignorant, very unknowledgeable. Not intelligent people can do that. You suffer and kill them and get you happiness. That's impossible. You putting the poison seed, it never grow as kind of medicine fruit, always negative. So that even that case, you have to be motivate your kind, loving toward them, and your compassion, loving kindness toward them. And one of the texts, the 35 stanzas from Asanga says that also there, and say, Dala Nimba Chungze Menayang, Kangi Dala Dakingo Chenayang, Ningji Ongi Ti Dipanam Dagiliamba Gesela. Can you say that for Bodhisattva in saying that someone have no reason try to cut my head? I have nothing wrong do, but anyway, he just want to cut my head, chopped in my head. Even that he chopped in my head, that very moment, out of your compassion, part of your compassion, you don't attach to that he chopped in my head, to killing and my suffering me, but you must turn your mind to kind and loving to the person who chopped in my head. He chopped in my head, causing himself to suffering pain for a long time, and a very terrible suffering he will have. So this suffering he may have, I take open the suffering to myself. I want to free him that sufferings. So Bodhisattva have to have such things. You have to be take it, have some kind of way, think of that, even that person is so able to kill me and chopping you, but still you feel like this caused him to suffering and pain for numberless aeon. So I will take this suffering myself rather than to free from their suffering. So that kind of attitude, even that kind of case, that kind of time, you have that kind of the feeling of the care for other sentient being. This case, the kind of, you can be nothing more angry than someone chopped in your head. This quite the subject of the anger is so very much, very reality, really this is happening there. Somebody against you is chopping your head to take your life. Even that case, then you have to be compassion to not loss. Your compassion should be strong. Care their suffering to open to me, may free their suffering, that person come to that result. So that much, and even your enemy, you can have that much generate compassion. And desire things, the same things that they desire no matter how much you cling and grasping something, but for the need for other being to free from suffering, you should be not ignorant the suffering of other being due to your so strong desire, causing you to deny the suffering of other beings. So you have to be, while your desire, you knows more the suffering of other beings. So then you, instead of your desire to continually to get you things what you want to know, want to give, get, but don't that way to approach. Your approach to the more care, present time, what really benefit, freeing the suffering, bring that happiness. In order to free suffering, bring them happiness, you should not be desired to take over you, to not allow that motivation, that kind of action, So that is that is the kind of anger, desire, ignorance. And you have go that far, that 3 poison, you are mindful and we take this experience to against that become cause of the suffering, forming this karma there to cause the suffering in the future. And so dispel through opposite of that, bring this 3 poison to be different way, to not allowing this poison to take over your love and compassion to others. Love and compassion, the true love, pure love, stainless compassion is the important to cultivate, motivated to get your path to enlightenment without any obstacle or hindrance, if you can do so. So that is the bodhicitta should be arising this without obstructing, interfering by the 3 poisons, So that is very important part. Again, once one motivating, cultivating love and compassion, So these are the very important part, basically foundation, your practice, good or bad. If you do have this devotion to 3 jewels as we described, and compassion and loving kindness toward other sentient beings this way, then no matter what you do, that's everything become your path of liberations. You're not mistaking there. So, but when you do something, we are engaged that what you're doing, and you are grasping and clinging. Even if you do something good, you have sometimes attachment to good. So that means that your good is not give precisely in powerful benefit to part of enlightenment, because you're clinging that good, clinging to that good. Good have to be pure good, as will not be stained by those poisons, And so that is a very important part for, again, we have mindful and the aware, and this always your devotion to 3 jewels and compassion, loving kindness toward other sentient beings. And so we also, they say, sakje ki gyawa, sagme ki gyawa. So there are 2 different destinations of the virtue and non-virtuous. Sakje ki gyawa, meaning that virtuous, interrupted virtues. Sagme ki gyawa means uninterrupted virtues. So one is interrupted virtues and uninterrupted virtues. So that is again, these 3 poison causing this, So sakche ki gyawa meaning that sakche means that virtuous, good actions you do that you are expecting to resolve. Expecting or hoping to get a result. So that means I'm doing anything, do good. I want to be long life. I want to good health. I want to be famous for this lifetime. But especially this lifetime you're clinging, that will be really, that good action can be very limited good actions. So this we call interrupted virtues. Interrupted meaning because your motivation interrupted, your virtue becoming perfect virtues, So your unperfect, not perfect virtue, because the poison is the kind of stain your virtues. But you're doing something, releasing animal. That's great. You're releasing, some animal about to killing. Yes. And you're releasing them. Great merit. Great merit because you can be long life. You are saving the life. Even 1 hour, 2 hour, 1 day, 2 days, they live. Great. They have little live. No one not dying, no matter what. People sick, painful, still take medicine, do some operations, too many way to live, So that meaning, no matter what, I don't want to die. Everybody has that idea. So therefore, no one like dying. So you saving the animal, any beings, that means you are saving somebody's life. That result become the very good, your long life, good health, and prosperity, Lord blessing. It can be resolved like that, you see. But if you aim to that, so this lifetime, your long life, good health, but next life will nothing resolve. So this result will be kind of very short, limited. Why this limited? Because your motivation to clinging, you want to get that result quick, this time. The virtues, good deeds, powerful, always get power there, result there. But power can be less if you don't have motivated correctly. So motivate for this lifetime. So they interfere your virtue by your motivation wrong. You are attached to the lifetime, So that case, you have to see, you release animal, maybe long life, good health. That's the same motivation. But addition there is, I want to live good life, long life, healthy. I want to engage, freeing many beings as much possible. I'm bring many beings as possible happiness. So that motivation again become, your virtue become uninterrupted by that poison, So that is very important, but the poison should be not allowed to interfere in your action, So that is very important, the mindfulness when you do. So then also you can make limited next life, long life, good health, Dharma practice, and so on. And that is good too. So the continuation, again, uninterrupted, because your reason you want to long life, good health, prosperity, everything, happiness, you can engage, help other beings. You are more healthy and happy. You have more ability and energy. So you can help more beings. But your motivation have to make that purpose, and be long life, good health. Then you are uninterrupted precious action is. So that is again very limited. That because the next life I have to again find a teacher, teaching long life, good health, perfect parents, all these things, But again, the motivation make intention that way. Your intention, prayer, aspiration can bring your reality there, but that is not really guarantee. So therefore, it is not guarantee, but it's a little time, limited there. So really perfect motivation is that I releasing animal, I want to achieve the enlightenment, completely free from sufferings, for everlasting happiness. So I can be endlessly benefit many sentient beings. No matter how sorrow, how painful, how many number, doesn't matter. I go helping all of them. So therefore, I'm dedicating this to attain enlightenment. That is the really limitless bridges, because you're not interfering by your negative motivation in pruning your virtue to negative. So therefore, uninterrupted means that different level, especially that you, no matter what you're giving, release animal, even a handful for giving the food for the beggar. And no matter what, simple thing you do, attain enlightenment for the benefit of sentient being is a great motivation. So that will be sooner or later to achieve that state of the duration or attainment. So therefore, this is very important. One, uninterrupted virtues and understanding of the ultimate goal for your virtues, not by limited like this. So these called virtues interfere, interrupted virtue, and then you get the ultimate benefit for all sentient being. That is uninterrupted virtues. Yes, So that is called a very important part. Sagmegi Gyawa. This Sagmegi Gyawa means the uninterrupted virtues. So interrupted virtue means that you are between the motivation, make your this life, long life, next life, long life, or this way to make it get limited there. So that is kind of interrupted virtue. It is virtues, but interrupted virtue. So when virtue become uninterrupted, means you completely, mind have to be completely dedicate this to the attaining enlightenment. So that's called bodhicitta, true bodhicitta, Interrupted, so that is kind of uninterrupted, interrupted virtues. So then non-virtues is always interrupted. So that non-virtuous, anything you do, first place, you're negative. Whenever you have negative intention, motivations, so it's always improne your speech, mind, bodies. So in that case, you can pretending. Easily we can pretending. In front of people, I can be nice, get great, gentle, nice. Behind people's eyes, I can be naughty. I wish to be someone dying because they don't like me. They do this and they do that. I don't like that. I wish them dying. I should be them, have something to happen to them. So that kind of motivation we have, that motivation is the really bad motivations. So these kind of motivations, of course, negative is always negative. Positive is always positive. But the details go through. Negative can be many details negative. But this is again positive, negative. Who the witness though? Who knows my negative? Who knows my positive? So, the mind training say, we say the we say the two witness is kind of witness. There are two witness for me. Who is two witness? One is other beings. One is myself. So these are two people are witness. So among these two, which the best? I am the witness, best witness for myself. So other people witness, they're good. People say something good. I must be doing good things. Therefore, people say good things. But these people have no omniscience. They can see I'm smile, nice, gentle, so sweet, so giving. Many ways I can pretending to make them to please. So they think, oh, you wonderful. This person wonderful. He say very good thing. He's nice, also gentle, very humble. So that's what people say. Because the people who are seeing me, that they say. They don't know what I'm thinking. So I can deceive them. So outside witness, not bad, good. You do something good, therefore they say good. But that's not the true witness because they have no omniscience. Therefore, ordinary people can be pleased by little things. And ordinary people, little things make happy too. So in that case, I know what I'm doing. I'm deceiving them. I'm okay. I'm happy that I deceive them. But that is not what the true witness myself. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm thinking. So I know. So I have to shame myself. I have to know myself. That's very important. Don't trust by somebody say good things, you're great. Somebody say bad, you're bad. Don't think that way. Somebody say bad thing, you look yourself. Somebody good thing, you look yourself. Really, I did go today? I smell, they like me, I'm great man. But look at why I smell them. I want them to be happy, they like me. Therefore I smell. That good? That's not good. I deceiving. Inside, I don't care that. Outside, I want to make them to help, happy to me, like me, you know. This is the same thing, that kind of business one way. The business people does lots of things to buy my things. I can make them very happy, giving things, nice things, all kind of things. So up to all, I want to buy my things, you know. So that's the reason I want to say good things to the person, pray that person, you know. But originally, I'm not thinking things good or bad. I don't care. I just want to sell my things. That's the business way. So we have to make sure ourselves, make sure what I'm saying is really I'm thinking that. What I'm doing is really I'm thinking that. That is the witness. I have to honest. I make mistake. I have to make at least morning, evening, invoke the omniscient Buddha, repentance and regret what I mistake, how I make fake, how much I deceive the sentient being, how much I'm clinging to myself and deceiving other people, confusing other people. So in remembering, you all bring your mind, shame to yourself, hurting yourself. Buddha omniscient, no matter where I am, he knows. Through your wisdom, your purity, your kindness, free my negativity motivations, negativity speak, mind, body. From beginning last time now, how many things I did bad. I forget, I'm not remembering. And some I'm remembering. Whatever I forget, whatever I remember, I regret you, Buddha. You pure, you enlightened, you have wisdom. Through your wisdom, your purity can free me these sufferings. And not only me, so many sentient beings worse than me, equal to me, negative side, and worse than all those sentient beings without exception. We purified, I purified. All of us free from this suffering, free from this pain. I would have no result of this negativity. I promise you, Buddha, I'm not doing from now on. So you do that. It's 1 hour, 2 hours, 1 day, 2 days, you're not doing it. Great virtue you gain. But the human being, again, here and there, many obstacles, many confusion, make we break. Wow, that's okay. We human being, ordinary being. But don't forget that. Mindful. Before I sleep, one time you must invoke Buddha, Bodhisattva. Their omniscience, their wisdom, they can see. One thing you are, Buddha is here with me. He's looking right on me. And they know my outside, inside, everything. Again, I repent and regret what I'm doing. Forgive me. I'm a human being, ordinary being, and too confused, too difficult. So please, you pure wisdom, pure compassion, make free me. I promise not to again. Before you sleep, do that. Wonderful. Until wake up, you have to bow. Until wake up, your bow is perfect. You dying there, you're not bad. The morning wake up again, same things. Then At least you can make morning one time, evening one time. Normally, Bodhisattva would say about 3 times night, 3 times morning. That's too much. But then people, at least 2 times morning, 1 time, give time. We're giving time, so many things for quote ourselves. Running around money, running around fame, name, making beautiful ourselves, beauty, healthy. All these things we're doing all the time. We have time. These all contribute to suffering, pain ourselves. But bring ourselves happiness. 5 minutes give time to repent and regret, purifying what we have done, promise not do. 5 minutes time takes to do. Great. So that way, I take vow now, few hours, I keep this vow. Within that hour, I'm dying. I'm okay. I have no suffering, no karma anymore because Buddha blessings with me. So the example, great master Atisha, India, Bangladesh, born there. And his house and everything remained there. I've never been there, people say. But he was in Nalanda University professor, scholar. And he's a great bodhisattva. The disciple of Naropa, Dharma friend of the Marpa also. He came to Tibet. He was to bring Buddhists completely dead, but he realized Buddhists in Tibet. That great bodhisattva saying it's very important to do practice morning evening. Death is coming anytime. So therefore, practice morning evenings. Hinayana, Mahayana practice, very strong, perfect Buddha path. So especially Vajrayana practice, it's very, very powerful. He says, I took individual liberation vow as like monastic vow. You see, he never break that vow, not at all. And when he take the Mahayana vow, occasionally break, but most time he keep. Because Hinayana vow, you physically, you can keep it there. Don't do it, don't say it. That's it. Vow keeping. So therefore he said, you didn't break that. Mahayana vow occasionally break. It's not easily. Mahayana vow taking mind. Mind mentally take the vow. Not physically. The Hinayana vow can be take up until you die. After the death, your vow is over. The Mahayana vow you take until you get enlightenment, they have never broke, never release. The mentally taking, but it's occasionally broke that vow. Because the mind, he's so strong practitioner, very good concentrator, very good practitioner, very good mindful. So therefore, even such great bodhisattva have occasionally broken their vow, he says. But again, he repented, regretted. So that makes his breaking vow, review vow, breaking vow, review vow. So he said that was maintained, not bad. When he take the Vajrayana vow, soon as you take, you break continually. How to keep that Vajrayana vow? So that Vajrayana vow is not easy, he says. So many people think, oh, Vajrayana, okay, Vajrayana can do this and that. Actually, he says Vajrayana vow is much complicated vow than any. Many people say, oh, I cannot take the monk vow. I can take the Bodhisattva vow, no problem. But the Bodhisattva vow is more complicated than a monk vow, you know. And somebody say, oh, Vajrayana vow, I can take it, but not the Mahayana vow and Hinayana vow. Vajrayana, I can take it. Because I can drink it, I can have everything, all things. But that is not the truth. That every single moment Vajrayana vow, keep it. Any single moment Vajrayana is working. Not easy to keep. So what the wonderful Vajrayana practice is, he said we have powerful remedy. We have very powerful remedy. For example, crystal in a ball and a silver ball. Easy polish, they shining, very clean. Then after you clean, leave the ball where dust fall down. Soon as ball is putting down, dust coming to cover the ball and extinguish or stop shining the ball. Dust will cover. Then you are ready to become not shining anymore because dust fall down. The non-stop dust coming. But again, what happened is good chemical you have, dusted ball and then chemical put it around and polish again, shining again. Just equal like before shining. So the Vajrayana practitioner has working the power constantly. But due to the powerful remedy, it not last long there. So he say, keeping the vow for Hinayana, no problem. Bodhisattva vow, no problem. But the Vajrayana vow, you have to constantly aware that, be mindful there. So Vajrayana practice is like our mind is silver ball. The ego is dusting around desire, jealous, greed, and so on, and covering the mind again. Then you have the remedy, like a special chemical for silver ball polishing. You have practicing Vajrasattva mantra, Vajrasattva practice, and many powerful deities mantra visualization that can remove instantly while you visualizing or reciting mantra. Your mind can clean, clear, and shining as it is. So therefore, we Vajrayana practitioners have to be constantly visualizing deity, constantly reciting mantra. And when you get used to be, then you will be always, you can have, appear everything's mandala. Every being is deities. Every sound is mantra. Everything perfect. Appear yet empty. Empty yet appear. The conjunction, emptiness and clarity, union is the true Vajrayana practice. So that can be removed mental impurity through the Vajrayana practice. So that is the, Atisha has saying that. So that means we ordinary people have no question. We have lots of dust coming, But he always say that, and he says that when he finished morning practice, he's very happy. I can die now before I get obscuration, breaking my samaya. If I die, how wonderful. I'm so wonderful, ready to die. And time go by, then he obscure. Then he's worried, I should not die because I have to purify. Before sleep, he do again completely practice Vajrayana, practice purifying. And then when he sleeps, he's very happy to sleep. If I'm dying now, so I'm free of my bowels, samaya is completely clean, clear, remodel. So wake up again, same thing. So that repeating that way, he say he's surviving his vajrayana practice, you see. So that is kind of pretty much, he's a great being has to saying that. And we have to be very careful, mindful. So therefore, we at least morning, evening, don't do all the practice too much. Too many practice, you're boring, and at a certain point, you are not doing it. But whatever your daily practice daily, for example, your Nyando practice, whatever Nyando practice you're doing, that practice you repeat morning, evening. You can count there too. And Nyando practice, you have the daily practice will be empowerment, explaining, and keep doing it. And morning, evening. So that's good. So in that case, that is a practitioner, Vajrayana practitioner. Anyway, samaya is very important. Samaya means it's something you commit, so that it's very important to not to commit easily. When you commit, then you should not change. That is already you have committed. Then that case that you're not continually sustaining this commitment, you breaking the commitment. That's called the samaya broke. That's of course the suffering and pain will come. Unfortunately, will come. So keeping the commitment. But before committed, you must careful. Very important, careful. So, but then you do change the practice. Change the practice morning, evening. You don't need to more. Try to do your best. While you practice in the beginning, you have to have 3 jewel devotion, bodhicitta to attain enlightenment for benefit being. In actual practice, you go follow the text, visualizing, then recite mantra, then silent meditation, then share again and then dedicate. Every day you do morning, evening, 3 times, 2 times. That will be perfectly okay. Do the continually, then you find more. That through the blessing that you can find someone can teach you more above that, addition to that. And then also your blessing is not meaning to you flat of the food put in front table you eat. Not like that. Blessing means time goes by, experience, feeling there's something different, come to your understanding, and your wisdom become more deeper and profound. And you're feeling, you're opening your mind, expanding your understanding. So everything become easy, you get easy, and everything become simple. And sometimes you can see few years ago, you practice, not practicing. How quick you are angry. How quick you are, confused. How quick you involve negative. And come by the things that then now can see, whoa, this time you have little patience, little understanding. You open your mind more, and then you get some more space. It doesn't bother too much there. That is the experience. That is the blessings. That's where the blessing comes. Blessing doesn't come like cup of coffee on your table and drink and become high. Not like that. Blessing coming slowly, and blessing cannot expect it too much, You don't expect it, blessing combined continually. So those are important in general practice I'm emphasizing here, and not particularly here. So I think that is the kind of I am presenting you today. And maybe question answer now, Lama. What time we have now? 4:52. So 5 o'clock to stop, right? So then we have some question left them. So they can ask question, doesn't matter. I can answer any question you have. Yes.
Maybe we give people 1 or 2 minutes to type in their question.
Okay, that's fine. Yes.
Can you summarize the seven?
Oh, you see. Yes. Okay, that is Marishipas first, right? You understand Marishipas are knowing Senjin Ming as your mother, right? Trintempas, remembering the kindness of them. Trintempa. Trinzoas, you repay the kindness, right? Then thought, and then compassions, fourth, right? And loving kindness, fifth, right? Yeah, loving kindness combined separately, huh? And then it's laksam. What do you translate in English? Laksam is altruism, I guess. So you already speaking language, right? Altruism. So, and then there's a 6. A 7 is bodhicitta. Okay, that is very important for 7-point mind training. Special kadam menga dunde they call, So kadam was menga, yes, menga pit instruction of kadam baturations. Especially mind training, they have special and pit instruction, they call this. Everybody understanding the question?
No question.
What Lama Jimba asking question is quite a good one, I think. So I hope they're understanding.
I think so.
You think so? Like he's talking to me. They know that what he said.
Maybe better, Lama Jimba, you
Get this?
yeah, I think that will help.
You can put this one and talk here. Your question, and you can repeat what I say.
Repeat what you say.
Okay.
Okay, so I asked Rinpoche to go over the 7 points that he spoke of, the 7 pith instructions of the Kadampas. So he said, because I wanted to get the names of them, basically. But Mara Shepa is know that all sentient beings are your mothers.
Sentient beings mother, right?
Yes. And Jun Chimpa is remembering their kindness. Tingzoa is repaying their kindness. The 4th one was compassion. And the 5th one was loving kindness. And the 6th one was altruism. And the 7th and final one was bodhicitta.
Your voice, I hope they understand. Your voice was small. Anyway, at least. Okay, you hear me? Here?
Yes.
Okay. That's a good question, and that's you pay attention very much. I can see that. Okay.
We have another question.
Okay.
Very asked, how do we not take in someone's suffering when we are generating compassion for them, whether it is an enemy or a friend?
How to not taking?
Not take their suffering when we're generating compassion for them, friend or enemy.
Friend or enemy. We're not taking that suffering, right? We're not taking suffering. That, yes?
She says, how do we not take in their suffering?
How, why not taking or how not taking? Why not taking?
She just says, how do we not take it in? So that's the question.
How can we avoid taking in the suffering? Not avoiding. How do we avoid taking the suffering?
They're suffering for us. By taking it in, I think that's one of the questions.
How not, they hurt us, right? Not to suffer. Suffering. Well, that case, understanding that, you have to go through the laws from there, And you have to, therefore, practice alternate emptiness and the relative. Very important that, because that question makes the sense. Yes, when you are really, I'm taking the suffering and I have to make seriously, I want to take it really. Then I think I'm really taking, then I afraid, not I'm taking suffering for other. No, I'm getting problem now, So you have that kind of attitude to make, again, you feel sorry to take because I'm getting suffering now, right? So that case, we have to selflessness. To meditate emptiness is very important, that relative meditation is the taking suffering other beings. That's relatively. But we have to understanding the suffering is not real. And sentient being who suffer, that's not real either. And that's all empty. I'm taking here, I'm not really existing either. And what I'm taking is not really there too. So this is kind of empty. So therefore, that kind of view will make the suffering cannot attach you, and the suffering cannot hurt you. And I think that she was saying, I'm taking the suffering, it may hurt me sometimes. So how I can avoid that, So that case, meditate, view of emptiness, it's become very important to avoid that. Don't think of that, I'm taking suffering, I'm getting really trouble with myself. Dissolve into empty, relax your emptiness. The view of emptiness is very important remedy of the relative clinging. It makes sense. I hope that you're understanding. What do you think? Anyone here, What do you think? Make answer, Caleb? So that reason, emptiness, you cannot go. For example, if you have Buddha's, one example in Jewel Liberation, liberation of the Jewel Ornament of Liberation, his sutra, he quoted there too. And so that also saying that, it's a block. No, I said something to say something seriously here. What are we talking of now? Oh, I see. So there is the example he giving. You have eye, you have feet. You full functioning as human beings. Because your eye can see your destination, feet can walk to destinations. But you have no eye, only feet, you are not functioning whole as human beings. Everything you make mistake. You don't see the danger where it is. The feet can walk all over, fall down, you be danger there. So therefore you need very definitely, you need the eye to see how avoiding these risks as danger. I have to see that. So therefore your eye is very important. Then you think, okay, I have the eye, I can do it, everything. No, I cannot do at all. Your feet necessary to get the destinations. I can only see the destination. I cannot walk to the destination. You need to get in destination. You need feet to walk and avoiding danger, eye to see. So this both is necessary to function human being accomplish what they really want to accomplish. So this is the relative truth and absolute truth. So you need to wisdom to see that is what the true nature is. That's emptiness. Then again, you need to see the feet like the relative truth to walk the destinations. So this both have to be inseparable to use it to together. One is missing, it doesn't work. So what he says, I'm taking the suffering, I'm in trouble now. But this not make trouble because actually essence is everything, the emptiness. So that means no one hurting, no one sufferings. So that's see everything as illusion, not real. Then you can ventilated problem has subsided right there. This answering? Okay.
They say thank you very much.
Okay, okay. I see she was up here, but she didn't say what she said.
She says you perfectly answered their question.
I hope so. I hope so. Okay. Okay. That's it?
All the questions so far.
Okay, okay. So that's I think that today I will be, dedicating merit. I can say this year we have Mahakala practice as normally we do. Last 2 years, we don't do the Mahakala practice accordingly. Before last year, we don't do any at all because I was not here, severe COVID-19 at the time, and we're not gathering people. So Lama are here, but they don't able to do it because the restriction of the people not allowed to gather. And then last year, we did Mahakala practice in the retreat land, only the 3 retreatant Lamas. And then we don't have the public to come there. And we have some student dedicate, Maud Honeymoon, dedicate. She bought all the food and she cooking. She was bringing there every time we need it. She buying sock, she buying food, everything she did. Last year, she was sponsoring full Mahakala practice. We have 5 of the Lamas there. And then also one, Jigme Singhi. I don't know his Western name, but he was cooking there always, very like, motherly like. So we did good puja last year also, not bad. And this year we did quite expanded one as usual. And we have started 27. Lama Ching was working for some time before, a week before he was working, preparing and things. Then 27, 26, he came here and started making torma, all the rituals objects. And so that was Lama Jimbas. And then also I was not helpful, but running around with them, so we together in Lama Nyogo camp. And then we all together to, work, buying, shopping also we did. In preparations. And then Yanas and Peter came arranging all to beautifully electric light, which is lots of them not working. They make workable. And Yanas, as usual, she take care of the shine, clean, canopy, putting over. So she did her part of 2 days. One day she cleaning my room. And one day she putting the hang around all the altar stuff and cleaning. And so she's 4 parts, she did very good. And then we have arranged altar, the 27, Torma, erected. And around 6 o'clock, we did some short ceremony, puja, consecrate to all the object there. Then 28, morning, 4 o'clock, we woke up, we practice until 6 o'clock night. And so very fortunately, at 27, we have Rebecca came and bring the lunch dinner. We have good food. And since then, Rita came and she cooked all the time from 28 to until yesterday, New Year Day, lunch. So everybody, she fit very good and also vegetarian, and she donated food to everything. And so, and then also there's another girl, also bring some food time to time, and we use that too. So that's all helpful, those people, we, all these big things happening here, but condition, dependent originated, everybody contribute, help here and there. Cook and cleaning is very important. So the Rita was cooking and buying food. She donated all of them. And she sacrificed herself early morning, come here cooking. And so she did all until yesterday noon. Lunch, fit us lunch, then she left from here. She was so tired, I think. Also Rick from the Akeda camp, so from the 26th, So up until yesterday, this morning, he was here. So he was serving tea, morning breakfast, and we have outside Marilee Ramsey also came morning, helping breakfast, serving those things. That is very helpful. And so, and everything sounds like everybody contributed here, there. We did very good Mahakala Puja this year. I'm very happy. And all Lamas tired, but they work hard. They are working very hard. They must have great devotion, belief, and trust the Buddha Dharma. And they work hard, they sacrifice. Some of them have family, have children, wife, home. They come to sacrifice 5 days here, 6, 7 days here, practicing day and night. And as we practice that was so wonderful. So I want to all of you know, so we did very good job and hope to everything. I think we are completely defeat from the COVID-19, and we will have more auspicious new year and new auspicious coming. So will be everything okay. So I pray all have happy new year and good health and prosperity, and see you soon here there. Thank you very much. And now it's a few Lama here. We'll dedicate merit our teachings, dedication to all. I hope this small kind of information you can use for Dharma here, there. And thank you for you coming, and Happy New Year. We can make dedication prayer. Jojo deje yewa se danje. Lamai dam kando chejonzo male singye done yusu. Dungi nangarbe de la jo linga son kibe. Chazola. Okay, we'll first find the text. Huh?
I have one text for the...
Okay. Okay. So you show me that too?
Yeah, I'll bring over.
Okay. So we have here.
Oh.
You can, two of you can read together. Yeah. And I can buy hard then. Lama Yedang Kando Chejonzo Pali Sinke Dinye Nangara Pede Den La Shu Linga Yison Jupe Chanda Lo Jena Zangwa Deshe Denjo Deshe Namge Chenga Genge Dikwe Zola Dano Tade Mege Jepera Jinje Dele Doje Dagi Tansuna Gezo Gala Yira Ye Zona Yange Dene Sumda Lame Chewa Gezo Male Doye Yula Dona Lame Tar Sonje Seje Dala Gonso Sa Dage Champe Dalam Razani Yawa Kundo Sona Tese Pava Jam Kaba Deda Kinge Jesu Dala Tempe Baljara Lama Renjen Namgai Jendo Wala Nino Jendo Kula Sawarasho Rio Jendo Tatu Temporasho Tempe Shimo Gide Tugdun Jimzan Lafon Jejosh Tempe Nimbo Sanga Drupe De Tamsi De Shin Gizo Tempe Jenda Chijon Jarbo Yang Chelsea Gishin Talan Tempe Shade Gere Limbo Yang Todu Rabu Zerzan Temporasho Tempe Suje Longe Denjin Yerse Membrasho Tenla Tepe Yang Geragan Tige Danje Parajation Lamla Nebe Nimjara Dani Jan Tamse Menyan Samba Tuvarishun Dala Zanyan Legion Tetrafan Tebu Mojo Ne Kunsan Kerse Chimpo Toba Sho Kunsan Preche Janje Tinjin Zawe Lama Yenje Doe Tendo Melam Kanda Patida Tamche Dagin Tuba Sunam de Tamche Sikani Tone Yenbe Danam Panje Kinga Najim Sibin Solan Doa Dore Sho Jamdo Pare Chitari Kampat Kundo Zambo de Yanti Tida Kingi Jisun Dalos Yewa Deda Tamche Rabdo Ngoya Sunam Yishir Thank you. So good.
Thank you, Rinpoche, very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you. Happy New Year again.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. I can see you a long time. It's today. So you're San Luis, right? Or where you are?
Yes, Rinpoche,
San
we're in
Luis?
St. Louis. Yes, we're here. We miss you,
doing-
and we love you.
Okay, okay.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you. They saw us. We saw you. Happy New Year, Rinpoche. Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you for everything you do for the Dharma.
Thank you.
Try it again. Thank you.
Okay. Take care you have.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Thank you so much.
Okay, now I can see there's a bunch of people. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Good
Happy
day.
New-
I didn't get up there.
I don't know.
I'm busy.
Sava Mangalam.
Okay, Sora Mangalam. Yes, yes. I see the crack too. Okay, that's nice. I can see everyone now.
Mhm. Very good to see you.
Hello, Deborah.
Hello. Thank you, Rinpoche. Beautiful teaching.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy
Take
New
care.
Bye.
Let's see.
Blessings.
Thank you also, Lama Choing, as well, for technical expertise.